You've lost enough. It's time to start winning. And why have you lost so much? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why you keep losing in the OTC markets trading penny stocks? Over 95% of people who trade in the OTC markets lose money. Why is that? And I think the reason for that is everybody's so focused on making money. Everybody just places 100% of the emphasis on the money. And I think that's the reason why everybody's failing. Everybody's so caught up in what the money can buy and how the money could relieve you of whatever you're running from in your life. And I think that's the wrong approach. It's absolutely the wrong approach. And I think that everybody's tying their wins and losses to their identities. On the first video on YouTube, I said there's going to be times where I'm going to be talking about stuff that has nothing to do with trading. This is one of them. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Edward Sylvan. I'm the CEO of Sycamore Entertainment, symbol SCGI on the OTC markets. And I just want to talk about losses and why they're coming about. I'm just driving around here, just taking care of a few things, and it just hit me. How is it that 95% of people fail trading OTC stocks? You know, there's so much, in this day and age, there's so much information out there. There's ChatGPT, there's Google, there's books, courses, which is another thing I want to talk about. But how is it that everyone's still losing? And I think that it's all about yourself. Nobody ever takes the time to look at themselves. Everybody's online looking for that hot tip. Just think about it. Why would anybody be online promoting and touting stocks? Why would anybody be online telling you what to buy? If I were them and I was so good at trading, I would spend all my time trading, not telling other people what to buy. There's a saying, those who can do and those who can't teach. And that's your first mistake. Get off social media. Get off all of these guru sites telling you what to buy and what you should be trading. That's just a waste of time. Spend that time focusing on yourself. Spend that time thinking about, why am I doing this? Why am I placing my money at such incredible levels of risk? What am I running from? At the end of the day, we all know that shares in OTC companies, including SEGI, are seen in the same light as lottery tickets. Everybody wants to hit the lottery. And we spend so much time thinking about what we're going to do if we win the lottery. And in the OTC markets, there is no lottery. There's just careful planning, understanding the nature of the game, figuring out who you're trading against, what obstacles you're up against, and how to beat those obstacles. All these traders, they just have this short-term view of the market. And it's not a short-term market. It's a medium and long-term market. And when you do hit, the payoff is 10, 20, 30, 50, 100x. And if the time was just spent focusing on how to achieve those returns, instead of looking for gurus and searching chat rooms and chasing hype, you would turn the odds in your favor. But get off social media. Spend the time trying to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Who am I? Look inside, because as much as 95% of traders fail, 90% of trading is about you. 10% is about understanding the market, and the rest is execution, So turn the tables. Focus 90% of your attention on yourself. Ask yourself, why am I so impatient? I read time and time again on these chats and I get all kinds of feedback from X. And it's talking about how people are so angry. They're angry at me. They're angry at losing. And it causes me to stop and think, what are you so angry about? Which is literally mistake number one. There should be no emotion in trading. So anger is an emotion. So why would you put anger and trading in the same bucket? You have to separate yourself from your trading. Trading is not who you are. Trading is not what you do. The losses and wins aren't who you are. The losses don't define you. And the second that you start understanding that, you're already on the road to winning. As far as I'm concerned, and if I look at myself, I've received tons of hate. There was actually somebody who took the time to go online and create a website that did nothing but bash me and talk about all my failures and all the things I didn't get right. But none of that affected me because I know from day one that I'm not Segi. Segi is a company that I've built, and my wins or losses and how I feel about myself are not tied to Segi, and so I know right there that I'm going to win. I'm going to take Segi where it needs to get to. And the fact that I failed as many times as I have to me is fuel because I know eventually we're going to get there. And the key to that exercise is just understanding what lessons can I learn from these setbacks. They're not even failures because failure only happens when you quit. So I can't even really call them failures. I just call them learning exercises. And we all have to go through that process and learn and grow. So why are we in a situation where we're tying how we feel about ourselves and our emotional state to whether or not we make money? Take the focus off the money and focus on who am I? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? And how can I adjust my thinking in order to set myself up for success? Because without that, those 95% numbers are going to hold steady. And here's another thing. The pros, the people who you're trading against in the OTC markets, they know your mental state because I can guarantee you they don't tie their identity to their wins and losses. They don't care. They come in every day, they wake up, they kiss their significant others good morning, and they go to the office and they do their job. And right now their job is to take your money from you. And they spend a lot of time learning that craft. And to the extent that they can keep you confused, focused, and not sure of who you are, is the more money they can take. And that's the mission that I'm on as the CEO of Segi TV and helping OTC traders trade this penny stocks. Because if I can show you how to manage your emotions, if I can show you the strategies they use to win, if I can show you how to invest long term for the win, you won't be so stuck in the day-to-day tick. And I got guys telling me the stock's up a tick, down a tick, and I just tell them I don't care whether Segi's up a tick or down a tick because our goal has nothing to do with the OTC markets. Our goal has everything to do with getting to NASDAQ. And if this was a startup company and it wasn't public, and the investors put money in, they wouldn't be worrying about what the price is because there would be no price. I think sometimes the price of the stock on OTC is a hindrance to reaching your objectives because you're sitting there looking around all the time at what it's trading at. And what it's trading at has nothing to do with where we're going. Where we are going is making an attempt to uplist to the NASDAQ. Because once we're there, that's when the fun starts. And then once we're there, another goal becomes, and that's getting onto one of these micro-cap indexes. And that's when the people who really have the money to trade this stuff and buy your stock off you, which is the micro-cap index funds, they get to buy the stock off you. That's their objective. So I don't care what it's trading at today and the fact that it's up today and down tomorrow. None of that matters. It's absolutely time to stop losing. You've had enough losing, and there's a way to win. And I'm going to keep educating, and I'm going to keep making these videos about the psychology of being in the OTC markets. You've tried enough short-term scalping, day trading strategies. You've tried enough of those. And how did that work out for you? It didn't work. 95% of the time you're down. You're down 20, 30, 40, 50, 80, 90%. So if we stop doing that and we change what we're doing, the definition of insanity, keep doing the same thing over and over, hoping for the same result. So I'm here to offer an alternative. Let's change the way we think. Let's focus on the medium to longer term. Let's understand the game we're playing. Let's get educated. I urge everybody to go look up on ChatGPT or Google what a rights offering is. And that's going to be one of the strategies that I'm going to be employing with Segi. All of this has been put together over the course of months and months and months. You're only seeing it now, but this has happened months ago. And I just came to the conclusion that I'm going to start just talking about it. I can't hold it any longer. Our projects are too amazing to just allow them to go unfunded and our business plan to be unexecuted. It's time. And the market has shifted. The economic climate is different. And we rely on shareholders in order to pick up the slack. No more are the large investors going to write those big checks for us. So we have to pivot and change what we do. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I just want everyone to just take a step back and look at yourself and look deep inside of yourself and do two things in order to move forward. Number one, stop thinking about and focusing on the money. That needs to be number one. Because until you stop focusing on the money, there's not going to be any progress to be had. And number two, really take a deep dive into yourself and ask yourself, why are you doing this? And how you're going to change your outcomes, because your outcomes are currently negative. So if your outcomes are negative, why you keep doing the same thing? Why you keep chasing the next hot stock tip, or being in chat rooms chasing hype, buying stocks that you don't even know what the company does. You only know the company by its symbol. Get to know companies. Talk to the CEOs. Talk to other people that are invested. Have conversations with management. Study about the industry that the company operates in. Invest money directly. That way it'll take your mind off what the stock price is doing every day, because your shares are restricted. You can't sell them anyways. I think these are the types of things that we need to be thinking about in order to move this thing forward. So with that, I'm just going to end this video, and I'm going to be back again with more videos. And some of these talks aren't even going to be about trading strategies. I know every strategy in the book when it comes to OTC markets. I know terms and I know procedures that you've probably never heard of, but they're not important. What's important is you, and changing your mindset and taking a longer term view about getting those multiples, because they're out there. So again, with that, I'm going to sign off on this video. Please like and subscribe, because it helps share the information to the people that need it. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.